respected judges, and my dear friends.
Who will protect children from violence today? If not you, then who? I do believe that television can be a powerful influence in developing value systems and shaping behavior. Unfortunately, much of today's television programming is violent. The American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry says hundreds of studies on the effects of TV violence on children and teenagers have found that children may 1. Become immune or numb to the horror of violence, 2. Imitate the violence they observe on television, 3. Resolve to violence as a way to solve their problems, and 4. Identify themselves with characters, victims, and/or victimizers of violence. Now, many people argue there's no causal relationship between media violence and violent behavior. Of course, lack of evidence of a causative link is not evidence of its absence. So for example, we would never say, I smoked cigarettes for a long time and I don't have lung cancer. Therefore, there's no link between smoking cigarettes and lung cancer. So why use such flawed reasoning when it comes to media violence? In 2005, The Lancet published a comprehensive review of the media violence to date. The bottom line? Exposure to media violence leads to desensitization towards violence, lack of sympathy towards victims of violence, and aggression, especially in children. In fact, the Surgeon General, the National Institute of Mental Health, and multiple other professional organizations all consider media violence exposure a risk factor for actual violence. Kids under 7 have a difficult time distinguishing between fantasy and reality. Preschool and school-age children are more likely to imitate the violence they observe on television if someone they see as a good guy is using the violence to solve their problems, especially if there are no realistic consequences to the violence. It's virtually impossible to make our world a violence-free bubble. The best we are able to ascertain is that there's no one single risk factor that can make a non-violent person act violently. However, media violence is a risk factor. Although TV violence is not the only cause of violent behavior, it is clearly a significant factor. Naturally, debate over media violence leads to strong emotions because it raises concerns about the balance between public safety and freedom of speech. However, if media violence is conclusively found to be a cause of actual violence, then we, as a responsible society, must be willing to regulate violent content, especially for children. Thank you.